Hey, hey. Hi, guys. This is part three. And here's where we are beginning. So, we kind of left off on yet another cliffhanger. And if you saw part one and part two, you know exactly where we are. I'm not going to do a big recap. Let's continue from here. Can we further clarify this Seven of Wands? Because this is all of a sudden this blockage. We're kind of at this interesting moment in time where they are figuring out the answer to their own confusion. He is figuring out the answer to his own confusion. That moon is in the reverse. There's like the fear is finally coming front and center. And I said it's like a turbine, is getting, or a generator is turning on. But we did still have that Hierophant sideways. And now with that Seven of Wands, I said, well, I mean, this is like the lone wolf aspect. Okay, Death card. Big transformation happening. I feel like I'm taking a deep breath, like I just surfaced, from the water or something. Let's take another peek. We have the World. Tremendous, like coming full circle, starting over again. What does that mean in regards to the star person? Temperance. He finally has peace. And what does that mean? You have peace in regards to your star / empress that you've loved all this time, but intentionally let everything turn into that dry desert so that she had no choice but to move on with her life. And then you moved forward with somebody else who made you feel comfortable because there wasn't much of a bond there. But you were feeling peaceful suddenly. She used to stress you out. That's why you ran away from her, but now you're feeling peaceful. Four of Wands. Four of Wands is like, she is my person. She is my other half. She's a person that I mean, this is another card of marriage. I feel at peace now knowing that she's the one that I was supposed to be with. Okay, the problem here is, if we go all the way back to part one, they have been like working through this whole thought process, trying to figure things out all this time. Okay. But also then came to this conclusion that if I reach out to her and I tell her the choice that I made, it'll be over. So let me just go back and ask. We can see you're having these wonderful breakthroughs. We can see that you're having these like final epiphanies of like, oh my God, all this time I was petrified because I really thought that amazing Empress or star person would leave me. And I lived through it. And I said I couldn't handle that. And I was so sure she would leave me that instead I ran from the connection because I didn't want her of all people to leave me. So I left her and moved on to somebody that I didn't have those fears of, I didn't have those worries of, because I didn't have those bonds to. And he's finally having all those breakthroughs, and he's finally not afraid anymore of the way he feels about her. But it doesn't change the fact that you've been either on the cusp of marrying somebody else. We saw that a bunch in part 1 and 2. Okay, and here they are again as the King of Cups. The King of Cups is how we started out back in part 1. These were our first 3 cards all that time ago in part 1. They were a King of Cups here, working through this entire thought process about her, their star person. He is fully embracing the King of Cups. Like, I love her, plain and simple. It feels like he is conveniently omitting the part that, like, he walked away from her, left her high and dry out in the desert, decided to move on with somebody else. He's not even saying that he's worried anymore about telling her, like, hey, that's what I did, because he's saying it doesn't. I love her though, but I love her 100%. I'm kind of drowning in her. 9 of Swords in the reverse. I'm not even afraid. Okay, you went from being very nervous to say, like, I need to talk to her, but I don't want to tell her this because it'll be over. And now you're saying, I don't care. I'm not scared anymore. To tell her that you picked somebody other than her on purpose, walked away from her, left her high and dry. 10 of Cups sideways. What does this mean? 10 of Cups sideways is he may be saying, I'm not scared anymore, because the bottom line is, God, he may be about to do something very bold with this Fool card and just be like, I couldn't care less. I don't care if it looks stupid. I don't care if I have to beg to get her back. I haven't been happy without her. He's saying like it's so insignificant that I went in some other direction because it never touched my heart. That was the whole point, is I was trying to make sure that I didn't have to have my heart activated. She's the person I've loved. To him, it's like he can dismiss, which sounds very rude to whomever he, went and got himself connected to. But to him, he's saying like, the thing that's been real all this time was my feelings for this Empress, this star person. So anything else is kind of like it. He can almost convince himself that it almost didn't happen, because it's like, what do you mean? She's my happiness, always has been. And it doesn't really matter. I'm willing to take the leap, and whatever it costs me to be able to like convince her of that. I'm not even afraid anymore. All of a sudden, I'm just not afraid anymore. We have Knight of Wands. We have 10 of Wands. All of this says, with this leap of faith forward and this, nothing else really matters. He is very fired up and seemingly fearless. Okay, but what about the other person? Because remember, all this time it said that you had built with somebody else, or you went back to somebody else. I mean, maybe that was temporary. Maybe they aren't even currently with that other person. When we saw that they had gone forward with some other person instead of her, we had the Wheel of Fortune, and now we see it again. He's kind of acting like, yeah, and now I'm ready to move on. Again, this person feels like they may conveniently let themselves operate in the most callous fashion ever, where it's like once they're done with something, they just go. It doesn't matter. I'm done with that, so I'm moving on. We have Ace of Cups. And I feel like they are conveniently saying, yeah, but it doesn't matter. I'm allowed to move on because I'm in love with this other person. I'm in love with my Empress, my star person. But I'm sorry, I still have to drill down one more time. What about the relationship that you said you gravitated toward? Ace of Swords in the reverse. Okay, so there is still, you're not free of that. 8 of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, but I don't care. I don't want to talk to them right now. Okay, but you have to. Or maybe they're saying 8 of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. No. Like, there's a whole conversation that needs to be had. And this is with the Queen of Wands. They're acting like right now that doesn't matter. This feels really impulsive. And this feels like, oh my God, this person seems to have like a break from, proper behavior. They seem like they're insisting they don't have to operate the way you normally would. Page of Pentacles. They're acting like they can just casually, when it's convenient for them, let her know, hey, peace out. I know we've been working on stuff, but we're just going to downgrade to just mere acquaintances or something. Like, it's going to be really easy, to just withdraw. So basically, it's like they're preparing to ghost her, kind of the same way they had ghosted the star person, the Empress, the person they've been in love with all this time. There's no way you're not going to have some serious karma from this, is there? Universe, do you want to weigh in? Maybe I'm wrong. Hang on, let me go with this deck instead. It seems as if you would have some serious karma. 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is very sharp endings. And there's the Star. What does that mean, universe? Does it mean that they're about to dump the person that they're with to race back to their star person, only to discover their star person's done? We have Page of Wands in the reverse. We have King of Swords in the reverse. Throughout part 1 and part 2, they came out as a King of Cups. twice. They came out as a King of Wands once, they came out as an Emperor a multitude of times, and they came out as a King of Swords upright. And finally, they're coming out as a King of Swords in the reverse. I think that they're about to get a very, very, very rude awakening. So we have yet another plot twist, as they are ready to just bail on the connection that they had with the star person, and they bailed on her, and then they got together with some other soulmate, and they're ready to bail on her, who we now know is a Queen of Wands. They're going to find out the star person has moved on. They're going to find out that all this time, the selfishness that they've been operating with has hurt other people. It hurt the star person, left her out there in the cold, it made her change her mind. And we had seen that. We'd seen all that being hinted at with her. We saw her in like a really good mood today, whereas they've been like consumed with thoughts of her. I'm thinking that although they're about to bail on this other connection that they jilted the star person for, now there's not going to be a reconciliation between themselves and the star person after all, is what it hints at. Or maybe I should say right out says it. Queen of Wands in the reverse. Their karmic's going to be done with them too, and in a pissed off way. Queen of Cups upright, Seven of Pentacles. And remember, they have been the King of Cups twice. They're saying, that's okay. It'll just take time, perhaps, before, my star person, my Empress, wants to be my Queen of Cups and give me her heart. They don't care now that the person who they're going to call their karmic is going to be mad that they're disappearing on her. Because I do think they're just like going to up and disappear on this karmic. First, without any words, they're going to race toward their star person, their Empress. And then they're like, yeah, I'll basically give minimal information to the Queen of Wands. I'll leave her and just kind of ghost her because I'm going to go be with this other person, the person that I ghosted before. They do this. They don't, it seems like it's always whatever they want, whenever they want. And they don't really seem to think about how their actions hurt others. But they think that it's just a matter of time before the person that they loved before wants to be their Queen of Cups again. This is them sitting in toxicity. This behavior, this yo-yoing, this leaving people high and dry. They're finally coming to like a consequence for all this. Now, admittedly, they were fearful. Admittedly, they had their scars and wounds. Absolutely. But the universe is saying, hey, listen, you don't have the right to go out and hurt other people. Your toxicity is costing you the relationship. You can't puppet other people. You can't act like they are, it's all up to you to make your decisions whenever you feel like it. And then you have this assumption you can get whatever you want, whenever you want it. It's not going to work. I think they have some serious karma that they're going to have to face. Again, we have the Magician, and they're like, but I know what I want for my future. Yes. And that's great, but you still have a toxic pattern, and that's always going to impede your ability to build the life that you want and have the future that you want if you don't deal with the toxicity. See, Four of Cups again, they're always, this person has like FOMO too. On one hand, they have fear of missing out, and on the other hand, they have fear of things not working out perfectly for them. So then they'll bounce and leave things instead of just say, hey, I really care about this person. Let me invest here and hope that, we build such a strong bond that we stay together. Instead, it's almost like if I don't see that it's going to be 100% perfect and I can guarantee it, then I'm going to run away from even what I want, go use somebody else's time. Then when I change and I go, no, I really do want that first person, then I ghost the second person, run back to the first. That behavior is undoing their ability to even have the future that they originally wanted. And they're blowing it with their second option as well, the Queen of Wands. And they're going to be left with nothing because of the way they're handling everything. It's so callous. We have that Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is, is Six of Pentacles. My apologies. It's time to pay the piper is what it actually says. This person, okay, they're going to be faced with what they have to look at in themselves. What does that mean, universe? Because I think as they try to rush back, really truly thinking I'm ready to be with that first person, they're not going to be allowed to. They're going to have to sit and they're going to have to think. Is person number one, the star person, the Empress, is she going to tell them no? Is that what this is? Seven of Cups and Strength card sideways. She's definitely going to say, I don't know how I feel about things. I don't know how I feel about the strength of your bond to me, your commitment to me. If you could leave me high and dry to go be with somebody else. I don't know how I feel about any of that. I don't know that I could feel like you cared enough about me if you could do that. Okay. So she's not saying yes to them. She's saying, I doubt the sincerity of the bond that you feel toward me. Knight of Swords. Especially them thinking that they could rush to her and immediately get some 10 of Cups, some happiness. Like this is what they were envisioning. They were so sure that basically the love she offered them before, the opportunity to be with her and be so serious before, they thought that opportunity was definitely still there. And when they come rushing back into her after ghosting, the person they've been with since they ghosted her, which is the Queen of Wands, they thought she would still be like, yeah, yay. Well, first they said, no, she wouldn't be with me if I tell her. Then they worked themselves into this idea that, no, it won't matter because I love her and therefore I can have her now and it'll be great. Only now to discover she doubts their sincerity at all. Eight of Pentacles, and she's going to be busy working on her own life. And I don't know that she has a whole bunch of time for them, which puts them back in the thinking about things. This is the stuff they've never done, is to sit and think. Why do I operate the way I do? Am I treating people well? Is it all about me and my fears, or should I also consider other people? 10 of Wands, 8 of Cups, Ace of Swords. See, they need to sit with themselves for a while. They need to be solo. Because right now the Queen of Wands is pissed at them, doesn't want them because he broke it off with her. The previous, Empress star person is saying, I doubt the sincerity of any of this. And now he has to sit by himself and get some clarity. And what will that clarity be? 4 of Wands. It may be very much, again, about his star, his Empress person that he really did want to be with, but also about what does it require to be in a partnership? How should I have treated the person that I love? He may have to sit and realize I lost her. I lost the person that I most wanted because of the way I handled everything. Is there redemption here at all? Page of Cups. Well, it begins with a pretty profound apology. If he's actually changed at all, and there is a sincere apology and there is a genuine change in the way he would operate from here on out. Look, lots of things are still possible when there is a transformation, but we still have a 5 of Swords. There's a lot of unhealed hurt, anger, possibly between himself and the person he really wanted to be with, which was that Empress, that star person. There's a lot that she would have to process through. She may still say, I think you might just be a cheat, a philanderer. I don't know. I don't know how to interpret the way you are. We still see her just really confused by their behavior. And with the 9 of Cups, if she does take them back, it will be because she says, I would like to still see what can happen with us. But I don't know, because the 9 of Cups says she may be very reluctant to give a whole lot. Is there a chance for redemption? Yes, but it will depend very much on, I don't know if she'll ever fall in love with them again that way. She might. We leave it with the question mark. It depends. It's almost like they would have to make her fall in love with them again. All right, you guys, thank you for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.